Welcome to Inside the Studio with Greg Wurth, and in this episode I'm going to demonstrate the Softube Console 1 MK2 on a drum track. I'm going to start by showing you my end result, and then I'm going to bypass Console 1 completely, and then after that I'll go through the channels and show you what's going on. So as you can hear, when I bypass the Console 1 across the board, everything just gets a lot darker and just more muddy. It's no processing on the track, just whatever was recorded on the way in. It's not a bad recording at all, but as you can see, with a little bit of EQ and compression and some cleanup, I'm using gates on the kick and the snare. It can tighten things up and just bring a lot of focus to the track. So let me go down the line here and show you what's going on in Console 1. For this particular track, I'm using the SSL 9000 because I felt that the gate worked better for this track. I felt that it sounded really good. So let's solo this out and take a listen to the kick on its own. Okay, so as you can hear, the gate was able to tighten up the leakage. I might have been able to tweak it a little further to get it a little perfect. Some of those softer hits might be getting lost, but for the most part, it's really tightening everything up and getting a nice little separation. So let's take a listen again, and I'll add the EQ and the compression. I don't know if any of you have used a real SSL console, but this is what the experience is like. It's like each channel you have access to gates, compressors, EQs, and they sound really good. The gates work great. I tend to not use gates very often because there's not many that I like, but this one actually sounds great. And what's awesome about the EQ section is that you can see the frequency display in the back, so you can kind of see what the fundamental notes of this recording is, and you can fine tune it. And so I got a little low end, cutting a little 300, boosting a little top, making it pretty nice. There's other kicks in here, but for the sake of time, let's just move on to the next track, which is the snare. I did a similar thing. I got the SSL 4000. I have a slight gate in here. He's doing a lot of ghost notes on that snare, so I can't really get it as tight as I did the kick, but I was able to kind of suppress a lot of the leakage coming from the hi-hat, and it's still, and I used the 4000 gate because this was a little more gentle, so it was able to kind of let all those little soft hits still come through. So let's take a listen here. You still hear a little bit of leakage, but your signal to noise ratio got a lot better, where it's like the focus is definitely the snare. The other things are a lot quieter. This track I have the EQ before compression, so I'll engage them in that order, and we'll just take a listen. If you see there's a big peak around 200 hertz or so. So that was a visual representation to me to show that that's where a lot of that low fat meat body of the snare is. Instead of having to sit there and hunt around and and try and listen too much, I can kind of quickly get to that point and then fine tune the exact frequency that gets that nice weight going for the snare. So it's really cool you can do that. And again, I was able to, I pulled out a little bit of 800 hertz just to clean it up, and then just add a little bit of top end, small bit of shelf. Down the line next is the whole bus of the drums. And for this, I'm using SSL 4000, a little bit of drive, a little bit of character. I'll engage it. I got the compressor first, and you'll notice that over here, I have filter to compressor engaged. So I'm telling the compressor to ignore the low end so that it just keeps that fat and thick as I want. All right, so let's listen. So just, glue it a little together, not take away any attack or anything, but just kind of get some nice focus into the track. So let's play the track. I'm going to bypass everything, and then I'm going to engage console 1 and let you hear it one last time before I go. All right, well, there you have it. If you haven't seen my review, I did a previous video where I talked about what I thought about the unit and just kind of overview of every feature and whatnot. This one, again, is just focused on using the SSL channels, just trying to quickly get a nice sound. I feel like it's super high quality, easy to use. I'm very happy with it. Thanks for watching Inside the Studio with Greg Wurth. Like always, subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the newsletter on my website, keep up to date with everything going on. Thanks for watching. I'll check you out next time.